going to a place like Yosemite and you're not going to go on the tourist path, you're going to go off into the wilderness, and you haven't been there before, what do you bring, and what do you do when you get there, and what's the process like? You're not going where there's going to be any other people.
So one of the things, Jesse, is that when I was in high school, I did do that a lot with other students, and we would go to places we'd never been to because it sounded cool. And then I learned to ask, will there be water? I mean, today I wouldn't think of going to a place that I've never been to. I wouldn't choose to do that without doing a lot of research. Nevertheless, what would I bring if I'm off the beaten path? I'm in a wilderness area. I want to bring a water supply or a way to purify water, some kind of minimal shelter, even though I can make a shelter. I know in Yosemite, you get up into the meadows, wild onions are like prolific. There's a lot of food up there. Even though most of the food by the native people would be at lower elevations, I know I could eat up there, but I would bring a fire starter, even though I can make a fire with wood. So there's a handful of things that I always recommend people carry with them, like a knife, a fire starter, cordage of some sort for tying things together, maybe tying a shelter together. I teach people how to make cordage, but it's easier to have it rather than to have to make it on the spot. Suitable clothing, of course, plastic bags perhaps, because you can use those for shelter or for rain protection. And I think there are a lot of things that I would bring beyond those basics, but it kind of depends on how long I think I'm going to be there. Like I would like to bring generally cooking ware, maybe a flashlight, although I'm not big on flashlights. With me, I'm bringing a camera. I take thousands of photos every year of all sorts of things, plants mostly, but in my classes, especially these days, I'm doing them on Zoom. I'm drawing upon all these images that I've taken all these years to illustrate things where I would normally just show it in person.
Are you a tracker?
I know how to do tracking, but I wouldn't claim to be a tracker, like a really good person who can figure out exactly what it was and where it was going. But I watch the tracks all the time. I'm big on that.
So I assume you've been out there thousands of times, yeah?
Not thousands, but I certainly have been up to Yosemite a lot, yeah.
What do you find when you're out there and you get past your car and everything's out there and it's quiet and you're just hearing the sounds of your feet walking through the brush and the sounds of animals? What do you find out there that's so important that you keep going back?
Well, I would have to say that's a really thoughtful question, because in the early days I really did go out on my own because I felt very I felt like being in society in the city was very restricting somehow mentally. Somehow on a spiritual sense, I couldn't find myself. I think today I can do it anywhere, but I can remember in my teens, I would just go be alone, be quiet. I'd go up to the mountains for a week at a time by myself. And when it got really boring, I'd come back home. But just to think about who am I? What's my purpose in life? Why am I here? Why do I do these things that I do? Must I do all the things that people in society say I should do? My father says I need to get a job. I need to get a degree. I need to do this. These people say I need, so I would just sit and think sometimes and process it through, and sometimes have conclusions, sometimes not. So there was that. I would bring more gear than I needed, and I would often just sit quietly by the stream and listen to the stream and think about the meaning of life. But actually, these days, I like being with other people. I like the interaction. And when I get beyond the car, for me, if it's a place I haven't been to, I like to have an open mind. I don't know what I'm going to see there, even if I have been there 1,000 times. This time is different. It's a different month. It's a different year. What am I going to see? I like to see it. Oh, there are ferns. Oh, that tree is dead. Oh, look at that. Mushrooms growing there. I like to sit and observe, look at the tracks, see who's been, what people, what animals have been by there. So for me, I think it's important to not go into an area with a preconception. Just be open to what is there and try to read the terrain.
Have you had moments when you're in nature which are, just like an animal or a moment that is so serene and peaceful? Is there like an estatic moment that always brings you back to something when you're out there?
There have probably been many. I haven't done the overnights where we sleep. We take no food and no shelter, and we sleep in little lean-tos that we make. But I remember I have some really good memories. After 24 hours, I've kind of forgotten the city. It takes me maybe 12 hours, but then I'm in the woods, and what I really like is the sun comes up and the smoke is rising, and just watching the rays of light through the trees and just sitting there and saying, wow, that's awesome.